Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be creating our get weather button. So it is going to be another control that we're going to create programmatically. So let's create lazy var get weather button, and we are going to basically execute this. There we go, like that. And let's create a button. This is going to be UI button instance and return this button. Now button has several properties, so we're going to set that, but before we set anything else, let's set the translate auto resizing mask to false, and then we're going to start setting the title. So title is set a little bit differently for buttons. We actually call something called set title, and we basically use the set title and set the title. So let's say get weather is going to be the title that I want to set, and the type is going to be the state is going to be normal. So this is normal state for the button, and then we're going to set the title color. Okay, so button dot set title color, there we go, and let's take white and normal as the suggestion. Let's set button dot background color as system blue color, and let's set button dot layer dot corner radius as 10 points. So I'll take everything that Xcode is suggesting so far, and then we're going to move on to the next control, which is the activity indicator. So we're going to create lazy var activity indicator. This is going to be UI activity indicator view. Okay, and once again we're gonna create our property lazy way, and we're gonna create indicator UI activity indicator view. Let's return this indicator. There we go. And first thing, once again, indicator dot translate auto resizing mask to false. Let's set the indicator color as white color, and we can actually set let's set the size for this indicator as well. So we're gonna say style for this indicator is going to be a large size indicator. Okay, and there we have it. We have basically large size indicator constrained to false, and the foreground color as white. Okay, so we are ready with all of our controls, and now we're going to start setting our initializers. So first initializer is basically the initializer that is required by the code, and that is required in it for coder and SD coder. So this is called whenever your code is being initialized directly from the storyboard. Okay, in this case we're just gonna call super.init and pass the coder value, and just gonna leave it there. The other initializer that we're gonna overload is gonna be the override for the frame initializer, and we're gonna basically first set the call the super dot initializer and pass the frame. So everything that needs to be done from the super class, which is the UI view class, it will be done, and then we're gonna start setting up our own stuff. Okay, so what else we want to do here is we want to call this function, which is going to set up the UI for us. Okay, so this function is going to be called setup UI. So let's create a private function called setup UI. All right, and this function is going to basically help us set up the view, and we want to call this after we have done all the setup for the base class. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to set the background for our overall view. So we're going to take self.background color and set the color to orange, the background color to orange for our current view. Next, we're going to take all the labels and all the buttons and activity indicators, basically all the sub views, and add them into the current view. Okay, and there's an easy way to do it. So we're going to create an array of all the labels. So title label, weather label, temp, min max, wind speed, humidity, get weather button, and activity indicators. So we're going to take all of these, we're going to basically apply for each on these, and this will return a sub view, and we're going to use this sub view and add this sub view to the current view. Okay, so this will basically add all the sub views into the current base view, and now we are ready to basically set up our constraints. Okay, so constraints are basically how we want to lay out the view on the screen. So that's what we're going to be building next. So Xcode is correct, so I'm gonna keep taking its suggestion, and let's go ahead and see. I don't know why it's saying AirPod Pro. Let's go ahead and remove this. I guess this time around it actually didn't get it right. So we're gonna start with the title label. So we're gonna have the title label, and we want to center the X anchor and constrain this to, and we're going to constrain equal to safe area layout guides top constraint, top anchor. So we're going to say equal to constant. So we're going to set this safe area layout guide dot top anchor, and the constant that we're going to apply is going to be 20. Okay, and then this is basically, this is going to be center X. So yeah, so we want to align our label center to the views center, first one. The next one is going to be the title one, the top anchor one. So title label dot top anchor dot constrain equal to constant safe area layout guide dot top anchor with constant 20. Okay, so from the top is gonna have 20 points down. Then we're gonna basically do the same thing to apply the constraint for weather label. Now weather label is gonna be aligned at the center X anchor as well. So center X anchor constraint equal to center X anchor. Okay, and we don't need safe area layout guide here. Actually, we can just say center X. Okay, and right after the center X, we're gonna set the top anchor. So weather label dot top anchor, we're gonna constrain this to title labels top anchor. The constant that we're gonna basically apply the gap between two at the top of the weather label and the bottom anchor of the title label is going to be 10 points, and this is not the top, this is actually bottom. So weather labels top anchor is gonna basically be aligned to title labels bottom anchor with 10 points of gap. That's how we are reading this. Okay, now that's our center and top. So for weather label, next comes our temperature label. So temp label, and once again center X anchor constrain equal to center X anchor, and the top anchor is going to be constrained to the weather labels bottom anchor with 10 points of gap between. Okay, and let's see, so your weather label, and right after this we're gonna have min max. So let me copy these two, because most of the stuff we can actually be able to reuse. So min max label is min max label center X is going to be aligned to the center X min-max labels top anchor is going to be aligned to the temperature level temp labels bottom anchor with 10 points of gap. Okay, so that's our min-max. Underneath we're gonna have our wind speed. So wind speed label, and this is gonna be min-max labels bottom. Okay, under the wind speed we're gonna have humidity, and humidity will be aligned under the wind speed. Okay, then it comes basically the get weather button. So get weather button is going to be a little bit different. So get weather button, and this is going to be center aligned first of all. For the bottom for the alignment for the top or bottom, we're gonna actually show this at the bottom of the screen. So if you look at the screen, everything is aligned center, right? But this one is at the bottom, so we're gonna constrain it from the bottom, not from the top. So we're gonna say bottom anchor is gonna be constrained to the bottom anchor of the safe area layout guide dot bottom. Okay, and we're gonna set the constant as 20 points. Now we also need the width and height for the button, so we're gonna say get weather button dot width anchor, and we're gonna set the width for this. So constraint is gonna be equal to the constant, and width of this button is gonna be 150 points, and height for this guy is going to be constraint of 50 points. Okay, now our next item is activity indicator. So activity indicator, and center X once again is going to be constrained to center X. Activity indicator dot center Y is going to be constrained to center Y anchor. Okay, all right, so these are all the constraints. Now one more thing that we want to do is whenever somebody's tapping on the button, we want to actually trigger some actions. Okay, so we need a target on the button, and that target needs to call a function. So that function is something that we can define here with obj decoration, property wrapper decoration. So obj private func fetch weather. Okay, and we want to start our activity indicator here. So start animation, and then we want to actually call the delegate and call did tap on the fetch weather. So this is going to call the delegate, and whatever function is defined, whatever the definition for did tap fetch weather is, that definition is going to execute, that code is going to execute. Now once we have this target function that we want to call out, we want to add the target to get weather button. So get weather button dot add target, and we want to add target on self with the selector as hash selector, and this is where we need to call the obj method, and that is going to be the fetch weather function right here without parentheses. Okay, and the event on which this is going to be called is going to be touch up inside. Okay, so this is basically going to call or define the action that needs to take place whenever button is tapped inside. Okay, All right, so with that, we have completed everything that we need to do for this UI view or weather view. In the next video, we are going to basically start working towards calling this UI, and also we're gonna start setting up our calls to the APIs to fetch the weather. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.